clean environment is a human right like any other. It is, therefore, part of our responsibility towards others to ensure that the world that we pass on is as healthy, if not healthier, than we found it. Unquote. A very good evening to one and all. It's a matter of great pleasure and distinct honor to be amongst the special audience. Our school Bluebells has always been committed to developing a clean and green school and is also working very hard to educate children, staff, parents, and the community about their responsibility in keeping a clean and healthy environment via a variety of activities. Through numerous programs organized by the school, we have made multiple measures to raise awareness among school students and the community about environmental problems of importance. We have included SDGs into our curriculum and are trying our level best to create environmentally responsible citizens. Therefore, environmental knowledge and consciousness are well represented in our teaching learning methodologies. Now, it's become an essential part of our daily lives, from rappers to a chopper. However, what we don't realize is how our planet is drowning in plastic. We need to change and we need it fast. And for that, our school has partnered with the Indian Center for Plastics in the Environment. Now, our bond with ICPE goes way back, and we have come a long way in strengthening this partnership through various successful programs. The most recent initiative Bluebells and ICPE have collaborated on is the Mega Plastic Collection Drive. We proudly announce that we have already finished the first phase in December 2021, and today we'll be launching the second phase. The Bluebells family highly appreciates that ICPE is working towards sustaining an environment-friendly image of plastics by highlighting the positive role of plastics in conserving resources and its 100% recyclability. To make this mega plastic collection drive a whole school and community outreach program and restricting plastic to be sent to landfills and junkyards, we need the collaborative efforts of parents, teachers, and the student community. A heartiest welcome to all the schools who have joined us in this partnership. Before proceeding, here is a glimpse of the green initiative Bluebells has been vigorously taking.
In continuation of keeping alive their sensitization to social issues, the environmental consciousness that began a few years ago with the anti-cracker, anti-polybag campaign, our Green Brigade Club continues to include more activities in its fold. Our love for the environment has resulted in the school remaining a polybag-free zone for the past many years, and activities like tree plantation drives, carpooling, switch-off engine drives, vermiculture, biocomposting to convert kitchen waste from the school canteen to compost, water harvesting, herbal garden. Let us take you on a brief tour of our greens. Installation of solar panels in our school premises supports use of renewable sources of energy and reduces the dependence on electricity generated from non-renewable resources. Ban on styrofoam plate, leading to greater sensitivity to students and to the environment. The school has also installed 3 types of dustbins: biodegradable, non-biodegradable, and paper at various places in the school premises to segregate waste. Regular workshops are conducted by our school council to make them aware about different types of waste generated and their segregation. Coming now to paper recycling. The waste generated in our school is recycled in the paper recycling unit installed in the school premises. We use this paper in-house for making of report cards, writing pads, letterheads, envelopes, certificates, paper bags, chart papers, photo frames, slips, etc. This is our contribution to reduce the pressure on the world's forests because this recycled paper is made from paper, not from trees. It is time that we realize the urgency to make necessary lifestyle changes and to raise awareness, taking adequate measures towards slowing down environmental pollution. There could be hundreds of examples of humans induced environmental pollution, but finding a solution to them also lies on humans.
Now I would like to call, I would like to invite our principal, Ma'am Manju Sethi, to address the audience.
A very good evening to Mr. Swapan and the team from ICPE, all the participating schools, teachers, and dear students. Omaira has already shared with all our commitment to the cause of environment and our partnership with ICPE. And I hope that's a small film about what all we do in school as environment awareness activities will really lead to further improving, or you can say not improving, getting the children to work towards saving the environment, we say, because there are lots of things that are happening nowadays which are affecting the environment, and this was very clear when we saw, and most of them are human activities, because as we saw during the pandemic, when there was a lockdown, the air quality suddenly improved. So this the effect on air quality is due to various reasons, not only one. But then right now, in this campaign, we are focusing on the responsible use of plastic. Our association with ICPE has been very wonderful so far. And the previous campaign, which took place from 10th November to 15th December, was really very productive in enlightening the student community to the real use of plastic, from being a menace to being of a very useful product. So that was a first kind of a change in our thought process, where initially we thought all plastic is harmful to the environment. Rather, we now know that plastic is one of the most important man-made material, which, when used responsibly, can be wondrous for humans. That is why it was created in the first place, of course. In the first phase, only 4 schools had participated. That was the Tagore International School, 2 branches of the Indian School, and our school, the Bluebells School International, where total plastic collection waste was about 225 kg, out of which 125 kg was actually from our school itself, and children had really made an effort to bring the same, even though there was a lockdown condition. So now we are really very, very happy to announce the second phase of Mega Plastic Drive. And as I come to know from my team, many schools are participating in the second phase of this Mega Plastic Drive, and of course initiated by the ICPE. And we are proud to be hosting this event of welcoming the entire school. Through this mega drive, we are also catering to the SDG goal number 12, which is responsible production and consumption. Here, we emphasize that the plastic and plastic products should be used responsibly and plastic waste to be recycled. By doing this, We are also catering to SDG 14, life underwater, and SDG 13, climate action, as we are preventing the plastic waste from getting into oceans and landfills and preventing it from burning that produces harmful gases and leads to climate change. And I'm sure that the ICPE is also ready to enlighten us more about this entire campaign and the drive and the benefits of the drive and how we are going to achieve this goal. The idea is to live in a very sustainable manner. Nothing is bad, nothing is very good. We all have to be responsible citizens. And when we say for the plastic, our mantra this year will be use plastic responsibly. Or we can say responsible use of plastic. As a school, we could use this mantra all over in our classes, and I'm so glad now that the schools are reopening, we can start with our physical campaigns all over again. Though children were very, very active online also, but nothing like the physical activities which help children learn. It is their future. It is our future, but more than ours, it is their future. And they really need to work on it. And things will change. Man will create. Technology will improve. Waste will be generated. We cannot get away from it. But how to manage that, how to recycle, how to reuse, and what to make of it is our job. The mankind has to think about it. Buildings will rise, plastic will be used. In fact, right now, if I see my laptop, very good plastic, my table on which this is resting, I mean, this is a movable table because I got it during the pandemic and I can take it anywhere I want to go. So this is what plastic means to me. A light material, a useful material. But then how to use it responsibly, how to dispose it of responsibly is our duty. So with this, Mr. Swapan Ray and the team, I welcome you to this campaign and thank you for considering our school as a lead school in this drive. We are honored, and over to you, and welcome to all the schools and the teachers, and over to you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am, for your encouraging words and for motivating our students and teachers to make a difference. Now, I'd like to invite Sir Sudhir Khurana to take over the rest of the proceedings.
Thank you very much, Mayra, for such a nice word from the principal, ma'am. Thank you so very much for those encouraging words. And yes, very warm welcome to all the participants in this mega event of Plastic Waste Collection Phase 2 in association with the Bluebells School International. We are really grateful to them to allowing us to have this event as a leading school from Delhi. Really grateful to you, ma'am. So yes, Mira, I now invite Sri Swapan Ray to kindly enlighten everyone with this mega drive event. Over to you, sir.
Okay, good afternoon, and it's indeed a great pleasure for me. That was a nice video from Bluebell School International. Amesha, thanks a lot for sharing that with all of us here. Respected Madam, Principal Madam, Manju Sethi Madam, other principals who are present here today, and respected teachers. We also have some of our senior leaders from the industry. I welcome them as well. Mr. Ajay Shah, Mr. M.S. Bhattu, Mr. Rajesh Gawa, and also from the waste management company, Mr. Ashish Jain, who is from Indian Pollution Control Association, which is an NGO, and partnering us in this initiative. So thank you very much once again to all of you. And it is indeed a great pleasure for ICP. I would say not just pleasure, it's a privilege. And we are really humbled by this invitation from Bluebell School International to join in this initiative. Thank you once again, Manju ma'am, for this honor that you have bestowed on ICPE and the confidence that you have expressed on our capability to really make a difference amongst the student community in terms of understanding plastics and how to responsibly use plastic and manage waste. As you rightly said, we cannot live without plastics. We might as well live with plastic in a very responsible way. So thank you very much. I'm taking a couple of seconds to share a video with all of you. Just give me a second. I hope I do it right. At our age, we always have a challenge with technology, unlike Omisha's generation. So nevertheless, let me give it a try. Okay, I'll use this. Is it visible?
Yes, sir. It's visible.
Yes, sir.
And I am audible as well, right?
Yes, sir. Kindly put it in the show mode.
It is in show mode. Has it come or no?
Not yet, sir.
I have put it in show mode.
So kindly enable the editing and then it will go. On the top, you might see the yellow bar.
No, I think this has got stuck or something. Is it? Is it coming now?
No, sir. Shall we do it?
Yeah, you do it from your end, then I'll try to escape from here.
Sure.
Actually, enable editing. Okay, let me do that.
Yeah,
because it is a little easier. Yeah.
Yeah. Once again, kindly share the screen and
okay.
Put it in a show mode.
Is it okay now?
Absolutely. Yes, sir. Please go ahead.
Thank you very much for that small help with the technology. Okay. Now we have this mega waste plastic collection drive. As Madam said, that we already had a first phase which happened some time back. Now we are into the second phase with a much greater ambition. It is an ambitious initiative that we have taken, and we are partnered with Bluebells School International in this. The collection event is going to happen from 11th April to 30th April. Today we are launching that event, and eventually the actual collection would happen during that particular time period of 11th April to 30th April.
सर भेजा हुआ लिंक मैंने आपको अभी भेज देता हूँ दोबारा से.
Few things, some statistics I would like to share. In the last drive, we did collect a significant quantity. The exact quantity, I don't remember, but it is definitely 250 to 260 kilos from Bluebell and few other schools. This time, the responses had been overwhelming, and thanks to Bluebell School International for taking this initiative and inviting ICPE to join in this initiative. We have close to 61 schools that have registered this time, vis-a-vis 4 schools that we had in earlier occasions. And here is a glimpse of all the schools that have registered for this initiative of plastic waste collection drive. Here I would like to pause and make a very personal comment. I do see a lot of government schools have joined this initiative, and I thank Bluebell School International for enthusing this group of school in joining this initiative. Incidentally, I come from, my education was in a government school, okay? After that, of course, I went for engineering, I went for MBA, but government schools joining this initiative has made me really happy, because I do see that this message that we need to use plastic responsibility is percolating across a cross section of our student community. So my individual compliments to all these principals and teachers who are present in today's event from these government schools, and also from other schools that we are associated with. We are associated with many of these schools through our school webinars. So I see all of them here. So I'm extremely pleased and delighted to be joining this launch session, and my hearty congratulations to all these principals and teachers who have taken this initiative in joining this mega plastic waste collection drive. Many of the schools where we have conducted the program on plastics, they are quite aware by now, and what Principal Madam has just said, Manju Madam has just said, that plastics are new generation materials. It is there in all spheres of our life. Whether it is in agriculture that we talk about, just a second, whether in agriculture, during production, or during distribution, retailing, or during in consumer goods, everywhere we see medical and healthcare is a very, very critical area where plastic has played a very, very important role in fighting this pandemic that we have overcome. And I personally believe that we have overcome that phase. Then we have transportation, we have electronics. Madam talked about the laptop she's having on her desk. Those are all made from plastic. So plastics are there with us, and we need to really use them responsibly and manage the waste which gets generated. And we saw a very nice example of the paper waste which gets generated in Bluebell International School. It is recycled. Similarly, all plastics can also be recycled, but the recycling of plastic is more of an industrial activity, and we will share some of those aspects of plastic recycling with you as well during this event. So plastics are there everywhere. We need to use them responsibly, and we have to manage the waste very responsibly. For that, there are two components. One component is the social science, changing our behavior, creating awareness, creating infrastructure in other areas, having technology for recycling, reusing, and moving towards a system by which we do not throw waste into the nature, but it remains within the cycle, and what we call it is a closed cycle. That whether we can create with that, and we can create that kind of circular economy for plastics as well. So for those of you who haven't had an opportunity to attend any of those events that ICP conducted in past and continues to conduct in different schools, there are myths about plastics, and those myths needs to be understood and go deeper into it to understand this material. One myth is very often we come across is the plastics are toxic and injurious to health. Obviously, it's a myth which is not true, because most of the plastics are inert and they do not pose any health risk. And that is the reason we use plastic products extensively in the healthcare sector, extensively in the food processing sector, because they are not toxic, they are not injurious to health. Then we also hear about plastics are harmful to environment, which is also not true. In our webinars, we are able to share with scientific data with us that plastic is best. If you look at it very objectively, they have the least impact on the environment. And this is not just ICP saying, this is shared by a large community of scientists, and including United Nations Environment Program, where they clearly state that plastic is not a problem. It is one of the most environmental friendly material in many of those applications, but it is the littering which creates the problem. And uncontrolled burning of any organic matter releases harmful gases. Plastic is no exception. Whether we burn wood, whether we burn paper, or we burn agricultural waste, it will generate harmful gases. So the solution is not in removing plastics from the waste and burn the rest of it, but not burning organic waste in an open manner and burn it and incinerate it in a controlled manner, so that these harmful gases are not released into the environment. So a couple of things I thought, let me during this session, let me also touch upon, which could be useful to some of our participants here who may not have had an opportunity to, or we may not have had an opportunity to interact with them. We can do that indeed in future occasions, where we'll try to reach out to you. And if you are eager, we would be also willing to conduct these kind of sessions for those who haven't attended this plus webinar sessions from ICBA. So what is the problem? As I said, we see these scenes. These scenes are very common scenes, and these scenes are not something the industry thinks it is not acceptable to ICP. It is not acceptable to the plastic industry. But we need to go to the root cause to understand why we see these scenes. Because unless we go to the root cause, we will not be able to address this problem. And the root cause is lying here. We have littering, which really makes the collection very inefficient and at times impossible. And we have very poor infrastructure which doesn't allow us to handle plastic waste or any other waste. Here you see plastic is a visible component in the waste here, but inside this there are a lot of other waste, solid waste. We don't see them. So this infrastructure, inadequate infrastructure, I would put it this way, and our social behavior probably are the main causes, and we need to address those to address this issue of plastic pollution, littering, and not plastics that hurt the environment. Madam mentioned about something which is very close to our heart. People who are in the industry, plastic industry, people who are in ICPE, and a lot of polymer scientists who are there, but who do not seem to be coming out very as frequently as it is helpful to the society. It is a wonderful material to recycle. And these are some of the examples. The PET bottle the water bottle or the beverage bottle that we throw on the road can be converted into a very, very useful and wonderful product. And we are using it. Our jerseys, cricket team jerseys, they are made from recycled PET bottles. Here you see an example. Here we made some road using plastic, recycled plastics, waste plastics. Here are shoes which are available, low cost, affordable shoes made from recycled plastic PVC. And you have a lot of examples which are available. It is almost so large you cannot put it in a slide like this and capture all of them. But the point that I'm trying to make that there are extensive possibilities of using plastics after plastic waste after recycling. So that is it is not actually a waste. It is a wealth that should be really treated as a wealth and converted that into, and accordingly we should handle. It should not go into the road or it should not go elsewhere. It should go to a proper place from where it can be collected efficiently and recycled into useful products. So these were few of the thoughts that I had, and we talk about recycling, and in all the school programs we do talk about these basics of recycling, which starts from me at my home of segregating the waste. And I'm really happy to see at Bluebell School International we have gone into the next stage. We have gone into from wet and dry. You have gone into the next stage of wet, dry, and red one for the paper. So the message that I'm getting is very clear, and all of us we are getting from this is very clear, that if I have these what so-called waste segregated, if I have the paper segregated, if I have the plastic segregated and not mix it up, it can be a very good resource for recycling. And this is how it happens. The dry waste goes for municipal truck. It goes to goes and gets converted into various categories of plastics, various types of plastics, PET bottles, bags, films. Then they go to the recycler, and at the recycler's place, it is cleaned like I'm getting cleaned in this bathtub here, and then you have get them converted into a new product, a new plastic. So this is the process of recycling. And we have Mr. Ashish Jain from Indian Pollution Control Association. He is partnering in this initiative. He will probably be able to tell us later a little bit about recycling and how we can organize a physical visits of some of our students to some of the recycling centers around Delhi. In the meanwhile, we have picked up a video from one of our recyclers in Mumbai. If you permit, I would request Sudhir to show that video and take this session forward from me. Over to you, Sudhir. Would you like to step in and take it forward? Thank you.
Yes, sir. Just give us a moment. Kindly unshare your screen so that we
Yeah,
can take it over from here.
is it okay?
Yes, sir. Just give us a moment. So we'll take you through a virtual visit to a recycling facility. I hope you all enjoy that. Sound.
The Shakti Plastic Industries. Turning waste to value.
So where this waste, plastic waste are collected and you saw those red granules, they will all get converted into a new plastic product. So that is the beauty of plastics. You can recycle it multiple times. So, Sudhir, over to you. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you very much, sir. So, students, as we have seen that this is a mega plastic waste collection drive. So, students can collect the plastic waste from their homes, their nearby places, wherever you feel. I don't want you to go on a street to collect it, but I'll definitely want you to understand wherever you feel like you have a plastic waste lying here and there nearby your places or your home. Kindly collect and bring it to your respective school and place it at the designated places. Uh, there are certain rules we have laid down this time. Kindly move it, please. Okay. So as we say that this plastic waste from the school premises would be collected by Indian Pollution Control Association for recycling. But prior to that, every school will be given a Google Form link where every student will be given that link by their respective teachers. You have to take a selfie of yourself with your waste. Very important thing, you have to weigh your waste. आपको आपका जो वेस्ट है, जो आप बैग बनाएंगे या जिसमें भी आप लेके आएंगे उसे आपको तोलना है और उसका करेक्ट वजन आपको अपने पास लेके रखना है. उसका कैसे अपलोड करना है हम लोग आपको इसके बाद बताते हैं. But the top three school, based on the total collection, would be awarded trophies as well as the certificates. School students participating in this event would definitely get e-certificate of participation, and we will come to know who all have given the waste by the Google form which I was talking about. And once the collection will be done, the result will come to us from IPCA, and that would be announced in a virtual or a hybrid mode ceremony, depending upon the situation we will be in the coming months. So as you know that this collection will start from Monday, that is 11th of April, and it will go till 30th of April. So I request all the teachers and students, and I request all the principals also to kindly announce this thing in your schools that we are starting this drive. To make it competitive, I would like to say that, as we mentioned, that the top three schools would definitely get the awards from us. They'll be recognized in the award ceremony, whether we will do it in a virtual mode or a hybrid mode or a actual mode, it depending upon the situation of this disease called COVID. But definitely they'll be felicitated because we did last year also. It was an online process, and we did send all the trophies and certificate to all of them. So moving on with that, coming on to this Google form, this is a very important part, and I would like all the students and especially teacher to concentrate on that, because as I mentioned, we'll be providing you one Google form. Every student has to weigh its waste. अपने जो भी वेस्ट लेके आ रहे हैं प्लास्टिक का, उसे आपको तोलना है, उसका वेट नोट करना है. इसमें दी हुई जो भी इंस्ट्रक्शंस हैं उसे प्लीज़ ज़रूर फॉलो कीजिए. अपनी सेल्फी ज़रूर लीजिए, अपने स्कूल का नाम, आपका नाम प्लीज़ अच्छे से मेंशन कीजिए, एंड डू मेंशन योर ईमेल आईडी where you can check the mail, because we shall be sending the e-certificates on those email IDs. To make it more visible in your schools, ICPE will be sending you a banner which you can place it on a place where you will allow the student to come with their waste and give it to them. So I'll request all the teachers to stay connected with us. Most of the teachers have already given the correct addresses. If at all you are feeling that there are some more thing required, because we will be couriering you from Mumbai, so the address should be correct. So we will courier you all the banners to you, to all the schools, 61 participating school. We will also try to send you some collection bags which we sent last year also, in which you can keep all the waste, and it would be convenient for Mr. Jain's company to collect it from there. So with that, I'll end this presentation over here. And if you still have further queries, you can contact us on this mobile number. You can email us on this email ID. Kindly note that. I request all the teacher and student, if you can note this out, or you can take a snapshot, so that if you have any queries, you can contact us further. Thank you very much. Over to you, Sapan sir.
Yeah, thank you, Sudhir. And friends, we do have a couple of our industry leaders with us today to do the honor of launching this event. We have with us Mr. Ajay Shah. Mr. Shah, I would request you to say a few words. And before that, let me introduce Mr. Shah. Mr. Shah did his graduation. He's a graduate from IIT Kanpur, 1981 batch graduate from IIT Kanpur. Then he did his master's in financial management from Bombay University. Mr. Shah has over 40 years, 4 decades of industry experience in India and abroad. Mr. Shah has held wide-ranging responsibilities in some of the leading national and international petrochemical companies like Shell, Nozzle, and Reliance. Currently, Mr. Shah is president of polymer chain business at Reliance Industries Limited, with huge responsibility resting on his shoulder. Despite that, he has taken some time out and has agreed to join us on this event. Mr. Shah, I would request you to say a few words to all of us, and in particular to our young student friends. Over to you, Mr. Shah.
Thank you, Sapan, for the very kind introduction. And I really appreciate this mega drive being undertaken by the schools and ICPE together. I think I would just say a couple of things regarding plastics. I think the very fact that people are collecting plastics for recycling shows us the utility that plastics can deliver. They are long lasting material, but unfortunately, after use, some of us discard it in fashions which are not really useful, or which stay in the environment for a long time, which is the cause of various problems. And I think this drive that is being conducted will help us remove some of the plastics from the environment where it should not be, and get it back into some useful products. So I appreciate the effort and drive being undertaken here. I'll just give a small example. I think what would have happened to us if plastics were not around during the pandemic? Would we have got PPEs to protect ourselves? Would we have got masks to save ourselves while moving around? Would we have had sanitizers to dispense and wash our hands and cleanse ourselves when required? And would we have had the right amount of vaccines and syringes to vaccinate us? I think all these put a question in my mind as to how useful plastic can be and has been in our society. And I think we need to now respect that and ensure that the very fact that it is so versatile and so useful, that we need to ensure that it doesn't remain unwanted in the environment, and let it be where it is supposed to be, in wanted places. And once that happens, I think the name that plastics today has got, the bad name, I would say, uh, where people are not using it in the right fashion, will go away. I appreciate all the efforts being taken by ICPE, and I really encourage our young students and the citizens of tomorrow to realize this, and ensure that in future and in future generations to come, that this plastics is not littered, it is used in the proper manner as being elaborated by all the previous speakers, and you use this material in the right fashion to give you the right benefit. And besides plastics, I think even if you look at the alternative materials to plastics, be it paper, be it steel or metals, be it glass, all of them have a far higher environmental footprint if you look at it from end to end. And that is why plastics is so important, and so important to understand the use and reuse and recycling of plastics. I really encourage my young friends in schools to understand the concepts of plastics. And I think this drive to collect and recycle plastics with the help of our young friends together with ICPE and ICPA and Shakti really is something in the right direction. But I would say if we all learn how to use this plastics and uh, dispose and segregate it well and recycle it well, I do not see in future there would be any issues or anybody pointing a finger to say that plastics is not the right material or plastics is not where it should be. And I think we all have to learn to say that you have to fight plastic pollution and not plastic the material. All the best to all the schools and the students to collect as much as they can and help in this cause of recycling. And thank you, everybody, to give me the opportunity to be here and share a few words with you all. Thank you, Sapan. Thank you, everybody. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Shah. Appreciate your spending time with us. We also have one of our senior industry colleagues, Mr. M.S. Bhattu, with us. And just to introduce Mr. Bhattu is a chemical engineer and an MBA in marketing from Punjab University. He has worked in the petrochemical industry for over 2.5 decades. So huge amount of experience, rich experience in this industry. He has rich experience in sales and marketing in Indian petrochemical industry. Currently, Mr. Bhattu is head of marketing petrochemicals at HPCL Mittal, in short HMEL Energy Limited, and is based at its headquarters at Noida. He is responsible for marketing of petrochemical products produced at HMEL's plants. Mr. Bhattu, please share a few of your thoughts with us on this particular occasion. And thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for inviting me for this. Good evening to all of you, all the students and respected teachers and respected industry members. I always I can take pride in introducing myself that I have been groomed by likes of Mr. Ray and Mr. Ajay Shah. So they have been my industry mentors in my professional career. So that's the privilege I enjoy. I would say, first, let me start by congratulating not only the ICP, but also the schools, the teachers, the parents, and the kids who are taking part in this great initiative. And I would call it an initiative to make our world better, for a cleaner place to live in for all of us. And more so, it's a step in right direction to understand the correct perspective and come out of the I would say the biases that we have built around ourselves from the media, from many different lobbies who had their own perspective. So it is a step in direction to understand the correct perspective, what is right, absolutely in an unbiased manner. So you are being there, experiencing that, and that's something extremely good. And I would say it is essential for all of us to realize that that every such initiative, it might be a small initiative, but it goes in direction of saving the environment, protecting the environment. And as the saying goes, every drop makes an ocean. So it is very true in this case that this will be the beginning for all all of you, for most of us, will be taking the learnings and the initiative forward from here on. So as Ajishaji was also mentioning, it is not the material which is the problem. It is the way we handle it that is the problem. And just a layman example that we hear: iron or steel is not bad. The knife made out of steel is not bad. The use of that knife for killing somebody is bad. The use of the same knife for you when it is used in the kitchen is all of us do that. So it is the same perspective for plastics, for polymer. Let us use them for the use it is meant for. It is not supposed for certain application. It should not be used in those applications. So it is the right application, right use, right disposal. So it is we are all aware of the sensitivity of the issue of disposal, but like as the users and as part of the industry, as citizens, our focus or the actions are supposed to be towards or have to be directed towards the reuse, the reduction in use, the reuse, recycling, reprocessing, and re-engineering of these materials. So this is a great initiative that we have taken, and I would say leave aside the volume that will be collected in this drive, but the sheer initiative and your participation, that is something commendable. And this will not only, I would say, this will also build, I would say, your character, and it will help you build and spread many positive habits. So I would like to just conclude by saying that these opportunities to protect the environment, we must participate and contribute in all the way at all the costs. And we have inherited this, the mother nature from our parents, and we have to pass on this better mother nature, better environment to the next generations. So these are priceless creations of God. So in our own little way, we'll have to do that. Let me thank you and congratulate everyone for participating in this initiative. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Bhattu, and for those kind words, and really appreciate your. I know you are in lot of meetings today. Despite that, you could step out and join us in this initiative. Thank you very much for that. We also have a very important partner in this in this initiative. Mr. Ashish Jain is with us. So I would like to introduce Mr. Jain to all of us in this webinar. Mr. Jain, Sri Ashish Jain, he did his master's in environment management, which is what we are talking about, and was a research scholar at IIT Delhi. He's the founder director of Indian Pollution Control Association, which is an NGO, this is an NGO working in the field of waste management, and has over 2 decades of experience in this field. Needless to say, his organization has made a huge impact in lifting large number of underprivileged children, supporting their education. So we are really thankful to be partnering with Mr. Jain's organization in this initiative. And Mr. Jain, thank you for supporting this collaborative initiative of ICPE with Bluebells International. I would request you to share a few of your thoughts. Over to you, Mr. Jain.
Thank you, sir. It's always a pleasure to be associated with ICPE, and I enjoy our association with you and these schools, because I think the childrens are the torchbearer of our next generation. So whatever we are doing to provide a sustainable environment for our next generation or coming generations. So we had already done a lot of damage to the environment, and this damage should be stopped here. And to repair all these kind of damage, we need support of these young childrens. And I think your organization is connected to the children's, and trying to bring behavioral change in their waste management practices. So this mega cleanup drive, not only it should not be a one day event. So it's kind of bringing behavioral change and trying to bring the responsibility among the citizens toward their environments. I think the moment we own this environment, we can change lot of issues. The current challenge is, as earlier speaker also mentioned, the problem is not the material. The problem is the behavior, and the major cause of the behavior is the ownership. I observed while working with the community of with different stakeholders, our ownership limited to our own belongings. Like my book is, I own my book, I own my mobile, I own my laptop, I own my house, I own my office cabin, I own my table, but I do not own my city, my surroundings, my environments. So normally we think environments belongs to everyone. So we have to change this slogan. Environment doesn't belong to us. Environments belongs to me. And when environments belongs to me, it's my responsibility to conserve it, to preserve it, because anything happen to my environment, it will directly impacting me and my life. So whatever best you will do for the environment, you are not obliging anybody. You are not obliging ICPE. You are not obliging IPCA. You are not obliging any government. And whatever you do, you bring one single packet of plastic. It means you preserve your environment for yourself. You buy extra oxygen for you. You buy extra clean air, clean soil, and clean water for you. So if you take this approach to implement this mega cleanup drive, and you spread this message among your friends, so this mega cleanup drive should not be a one day event. You have to take care of your environment in everyday life. You should not litter anything, not only plastic. You should not litter anything, whether it is food waste, plastic, paper, glass, metal, in the open area. Everything after consumption should go to the dustbin only. And if you won't find any dustbin in your surrounding, bring those waste material to your home, to your office, to your school, and dump only into the dustbin. Because if you dump or dispose your waste material into the dustbin, it will be very easy to collect and channelize to the respective recycling or co-processing industry. uh, it's very difficult or next to impossible to collect the litter waste. If someone litter a plastic carry bag, or if someone litter paper bag, you can take my words. No institution, no private or public or government body has the capacity to collect that littered plastic or paper or cloth or metal waste, because the logistic cost involved in collection and transporting to some areas, it's very high. And that's why the littered waste will remain littered, and they cause a lot of damage to our environment. They pollute our air, they pollute our soil, they pollute our water, and ultimately all these kind of pollution impact our health. We are inhaling toxic gases, we are drinking toxic water, and we are living on a toxic soil. So it's up to us whether we want a toxic environment or clean environment. If we want a clean environment, healthy life, we have to protect my environment, and I will not let anyone else to pollute my environments. That should be the spirit to work for the environment. You have to bring change, and you have to bring change in others also. And I know children have the capacity to change, because they are in a learning stage. We people at 40, 50, or 60, it's very difficult to bring change on ourselves. We have fixed mindset and fixed habits, but children's are at the learning stage. They are very flexible, so they can change their lifestyle, and they can, while changing their lifestyle and habit, they can influence other to become like them. So that's the message from my side to the lovely audience, and I will be there to support you to collect your plastic waste and recycle plastic waste. And whatever you will collect, I am assuring you from this platform that each single piece of those plastic will get recycled, and we will put our extra efforts to make our environment more clean and healthy. Thank you, Dr. Ray, for giving me an opportunity, and it will be a pleasure to work with you.
Thank you, Ashish ji, for those wonderful words, and particularly those words addressed to um, um, all of us. I'm part of that young crowd, okay? So we all have to make those changes, and we will do that. We'll take it and try to see those changes happening. So with this, we are coming to an end, and I was wondering whether Nehru madam would like to say something, or Omisha, you would like to close.
Yes.
Up over to you, Amisha, then.
So those were some quite inspirational words, and thank you for providing us with that piece of knowledge. Well, moving forward, now a small group of thoughtful people could change the world. Indeed, it's the only one that ever has. It's been our pleasure to accommodate such a transformative event, and we will delightfully do our bit to contribute. ICPE has been making vigorous efforts in addressing various social, environmental, and technical issues, with specific emphasis on plastic waste and is offering technical and practical solutions. A special thank you for collaborating with us and making change possible. Here's to hoping that this initiative can bring further benefits to society by banishing the disposal of plastic in landfill sites. With immense sense of gratitude for the work of ICPE, I take the opportunity to extend Bluebells' full support in executing this noble initiative. I would like to thank our principal, Ma'am Manju, for providing us with the plethora of opportunities, sensitizing us, and making us such responsible members of society. Last but not the least, the audience for cooperating.
Thank you, Amisha. That was a wonderful concluding comments coming from you from Bluebell School International. So with this, I guess we can close this session. Neeru madam, is it
Yes,
okay?
sir. Thank you so much, sir, for joining. And for the second phase of Mega Plastic Drive, I hope this would be also a successful one because we have 60 plus school collaborating with us in this drive. So we'll be able to collect a lot of plastic waste and prevent it from sending to landfill and do best for the environment.
Thank you very much. So let me take leave from all of you. Have a good evening and take care. Stay safe. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much all for joining us in this event. As we have mentioned earlier, if you have any queries, we have already given our numbers and email ID. You can mail us, you can contact us. We also have created one WhatsApp group, so you can chat with us on that, and we'll be there to support you out. We shall communicate to you again. Sir, you want to say something?
No, you finish. I just at the end, possibly I'll request everyone to put on their video.
Yeah, definitely. I was just about to say that. If you all can, switch on your cameras so that we can take a good snapshot of that. Alvin Pant, you want to say something? Okay, fair enough. Kindly open up your cameras and we'll take a selfie and we will then end the session.
In short.
We are so used to this word called selfie now. Every picture we call it is selfie now, whether it's a snapshot or that's or not. So thank you very much all. Stay safe and best of luck to all the schools. May the best win.
Everyone, thank you very much for joining. All our teachers, respected teachers, and my beloved students. Thanks for joining, and we catch up with each other later on. Okay, thank you and goodbye
Thank you.
for
Thank
now.
you
Thank you
all.
so
Thank you.
much.
Bye bye.